Do either of you know the person we're going to talk about regarding the Epstein matter? Then we'll get to the vice president and all the things he said. But do you guys know what we're talking about here? So there's a couple million pages, right? And there's apparently 4 million more that still haven't been released. But I'm telling you right now, there's 10 million stories in the naked Epstein files that reporters haven't even got to yet. There's documents that people haven't read. There's documents that they haven't connected the dots on. There's more coming. I saw Bill Gates thing today that was just incredible about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Same with I read a report today on Reed Epstein, Reed
Hoffman.
Reed
Can't
Hoffman.
forget Reed Hoffman.
Yeah, Reed Hoffman. Incredible stuff about Reed Hoffman. But here's somebody you didn't know was in the Epstein files. And again, have you guys searched yourselves in there yet?
No.
I wasn't even born, Mark.
Huh. Well, anyway, here's somebody whose name I think pops up just once, and she wants the world to know that she is innocent of any connection to Jeffrey Epstein that could be considered the least bit career ending. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you whose real name is Karen Elaine Johnson. What celebrity's real name is Karen Elaine Johnson? Karen is spelled Kcaryn. Karen Elaine Johnson. What celebrity was born Karen Elaine Johnson? The correct answer is this lady.
Now, in the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes. And what does it say? It says, Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2?
And it looks like they said no thanks.
Yeah. So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because I'm telling you, when I tell you people are trying to turn me into, I wasn't his girlfriend. I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not, you used to have facts before you said stuff.
But Trump is on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't speak to him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on. Yeah. Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Inquirer wrote it about it. Yeah. People wrote about this stuff. So no, I never had this, and no, I didn't get on the plane because you know what I would have to do to get on the plane? Fly. They were trying to,
and she doesn't fly.
No, so they're trying
She's
to get me.
Babe.
They're trying to get me to get on a plane to get to this thing for Julian Lennon.
Yeah, but the thing is, they dropped like 300 names.
Yes.
And it's like flood the zone because when you're looking, there are people like Marilyn Monroe who was dead.
Elvis.
Yeah, a lot of people, because a lot of the reasons your name can be mentioned are news articles, third-party emails, contacts. Again, wealthy, famous people often cross in professional and social circles, so that's not the surprising part.
All right, let's stipulate one thing. If there's any group of Americans who are strict sticklers for facts, it's the ladies of The View. That's number one. Michael, off with her head, death penalty for Whoopi?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't believe that most of the names that have been shared with the public via these FBI files, I don't think many of them have found anything incriminating. So if they didn't do anything wrong, I'm not sure if it was a great idea to release files that could just smear people unintentionally with guilt by association or guilt by email or guilt by proximity. So it really kind of makes me angry, actually. Not that I'm a fan of Whoopi. I'm just, all the people that are named are, if there's no criminal wrongdoing, why did the FBI files need to be released?
Yeah. That's an interesting question because the Justice Department has said no further criminal prosecutions. Emma Morris.
No, wouldn't it be the opposite? Wouldn't it be the if there is wrongdoing, then they wouldn't release them?
Emma, let's say you were investigated for 5 years for alleged bank robbery, and they got all your documents, and they interviewed a bunch of people about you, and then they never charged you. How would you feel if Congress then said, let's release all the investigative documents that are not normally released in any case, but let's release them all? And read all about Emma's emails and Emma's texts and I mean,
I took this, you're not offending me right now. This was my take from the beginning. If you
yeah,
play the tape of Two Ways, the group chat
yeah,
months ago, and over the course of months, I was
yes.
always saying this is another instance, as we're so familiar as Americans, of like this like stupid hysteria that is a witch hunt against Trump, obviously, that is trying to whip people up against Trump.
Hold on, hold on. I need to stop you there. I apologize. Witch hunt against Trump, obviously. A lot of the whipping up of this, and Republicans in Congress all voted for it, not came from a witch hunt against Trump. It came from MAGA talk show hosts. That's what whipped the frenzy up. They weren't on a witch hunt against Trump. They were on a witch hunt against an alleged international sex trafficking ring.
Right, but in the latest iteration that actually led to forcing the hand of the DOJ to release everything, that was a Democrat drumbeat that Trump was saying this exact point, which was there's so many names in here, like
Yeah.
innocent Whoopi,
Yeah.
who are going to be released and smeared and associated with something disgusting and actually had nothing to do with anything. But I just like Maud Behar short-circuiting on live television.
Joy Behar.
You had to have listened to Rush Limbaugh, Mark.
Did he call her Maud? Did he call her Maud?
He called her Maud?
I didn't know that. I listened to Rush Limbaugh a lot, but I don't remember him ever doing that. Let me ask you this question. If someone was engaged in friendly emails directly with Jeffrey Epstein that involved possible business relationships, okay, after he was in prison, after he was in jail in Florida, if someone did that, should they lose their job? Michael, just that set of facts. Friendly emails directly with Epstein after Epstein was in jail.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, no. I mean,
No.
what's the guy supposed to do? Live in a hole? I don't understand what we expect. We had Walter Cronkite, America's news dad, most trusted, journalist of all time, allegedly, got on his plane in 2007 after he pleaded guilty, and there's pictures of him.
Hold on. Walter Cronkite did?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Where'd he go? Where'd they fly? Straight to the island?
Straight to the island. There's a picture.
No.
There's pictures of it.
Cronkite threw on Epstein's plane to the island?
There's pictures of it, unless I'm not reading it correctly, but I swear there are.
Michael, is that true? Not you, Michael, my colleague, Michael. Is that true? Emma, do you know about Walter Cronkite going to the island? You know about that?
I don't know.
You don't know. All right, Emma, what about you? What's your answer? What's your answer to my question? What do you want to talk about the Epstein files?
No. I just mean I haven't been doing deep dives.
By the way, I don't think Kathy Rummeler should have left her job either.
Oh, Michael, come on now.
What? Why?
The woman in charge of ethics at a Wall Street firm.
Well, but she was a litigator. She was a private litigator at the time that she was talking.
Well, how about the fact that she lied and suggested their relationship was not particularly close, and then she was taking all these presents from him and helping him up until the day he was killed, the day he died, day he was killed. You think Goldman Sachs should have let her stay there? I'm not. If that's your position, I'm delighted to hear it. But I just want to make sure your position is, if you were the head of Goldman Sachs, you would have said, I don't care about all these articles. She should stay.
I'm trying to look at this logically. So an employer who she didn't work for 10 years ago, when she wrote emails and said friendly things to somebody she was giving advice to as a defense attorney, as defense attorneys do for even people we don't like. I think that's part of the system. Why would Goldman Sachs punish her for some non-crime she didn't commit, some crime she didn't commit in a job from 10 years ago?
All right, Michael.
I love the sanity maximalism that Michael is bringing.
Emma, do you agree with that, Emma? Is that your same
100%? Yes, 100%. I mean, how many conversations like this happen? Actually, obviously not on this scale, but during the Laptop from Hell reporting, one psycho went to Venmo and found my Venmo account, and me being a naive and innocent Canadian who had just gotten Venmo maybe a few years before that, because we don't have that when I was a teenager, and they went through my contact list, which was linked to my Venmo account, and tried to then link me to activities of people in my phone contact list, which, as you know, Mark, as a journalist, and I'm sure Michael, as you know, as a press guy, like, you talk to everybody in this business. Like, you talk to everybody, people who are bottom feeders and freaks and whatever. And you might have all kinds of people in your contact list. And there was nothing I mean, there was nothing wrong with it, but you become framed as associated with some sort of activity of somebody who you spoke to or no. And
Yes.
I find that so repulsive and immoral. And so this whole thing to me is, I agree with Michael 100%. Oh, she spoke to somebody once, she gave, like, she was in a social interaction once, therefore you're fired. That is so
I mean,
wrong.
a lot of it seems like, tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels a little bit like it feels a lot like the Me Too, the excess
Yes,
of the Me Too
yes.
thing.
There's certainly
Because
some comparisons there. All
As
right.
I said, a mass hysteria aimed
Yeah.
at Trump that won't touch him.
Yeah.
One more element about Epstein, and then we're going to talk about the vice president and his wide-ranging interview. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Walter Cronkite. Unless this is AI, maybe somebody made this up, but this was apparently.
I swear it's in
No,
links.
you're right. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Walter Cronkite on the island on a sofa with Jeffrey Epstein and some other guy.
It
Look
might
at
be
that.
Palm Beach.
Might be Palm Beach, but
We don't
okay.
know.
No,
we
I
don't
think,
know if this
I
on the
think the
island.
flight logs say he flew from Newark.
Yeah, but this photo
He
may be from a different
There's
occasion.
flight logs that he went to the Virgin Islands.
Okay,
with
ladies and
Epstein.
gentlemen, what would the hysterics say about who should be canceled? That put that picture back up, please.
So are we going to call in his family and
look at this.
demand answers as to why he was palling
Look
around?
at this. Look at this. I mean, America's most trusted newsman is sitting there. Like, even when Emma, Michael, and I go out, my body language isn't that friendly, and I love you both dearly. Look at that. He's leaning in like nobody's business. All right,
My point.
Go
Can
ahead.
I say one more thing on this, Mark, that I feel like is getting missed, and I want to know if I'm missing something, because they signed this deal, this sweetheart deal in Florida in 2008.
Yeah.
6 months later, there's a new Justice Department. We're now aware of all of these allegations that the FBI had in their files that predated 2009. So what did the attorney generals
Great question.
in those two White Houses do for 8 years?
Yeah.
And why was he allowed to go on his plane and travel and not register as a sex offender in some of these places? What were they doing? What did Merrick Garland do? Why is nobody holding those three attorney generals to account?
Yeah, I agree with every word you said, except it's attorneys general.
Attorneys general.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. If you want to have some comfortable bedding, towels, shirts, pants, the whole kit and caboodle, here's what I'd recommend to you. Go to our sponsor's website, Cozy Earth, CozyEarth.com, promo code 2way. Here's how much you'll save, 20% off everything on the site. The Baja bedding set, for instance, 20% off. Luxe bath towel set, 20% off. Even the bubble cuddle blanket. The favorite of babies, dogs, and cold grown-ups from Maine to Maine, Portland to Portland. That's what I meant to say. Even that, 20% off. Go to CozyEarth.com. Use the promo code 2way for 20% off everything on the site. That includes the very pants that I wore earlier today to a big meeting. Refresh your routines with comfort that makes every day feel like a new year. Go to CozyEarth.com. Promo code 2way. They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the 2way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America. And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and 2way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.